All right. Welcome, welcome. So we host this every Tuesday night, and I share this training with Dawn Abbott, who is a silver director, Tammy Glowacki, silver director, and then of course Steph Wood, who is an executive. And I'm Leslie Olau, and I welcome each and every one of you. Yeah, let's all mute and make sure that we can hear, and then I will call on each of you for your takeaways from Xyngfest. So with that being said, who wants to jump in first? So it was super exciting. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was the best one yet. I tell you, I know that some of you, that was your first, but I can tell you Dawn and Tammy and Stephanie and all those that were there was like, it was the best one yet. It was real, it was raw, and we came away like our lights are on fire, right? In fact, I think one of I can't remember who it was, but it says, I feel like it's like little light of mine. If you guys remember that in church, this little light of mine, won't let it, gotta let it shine, that little song. Anyway, so who wants to get started? I can start with whomever you want. Just
I'll start.
All right, start. And I figured you would be the first one to jump on, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh, I've been sitting here wondering about my takeaways and thinking about it all day long. And I always come back to the one thing, and some of the things they talked about was phone calls and getting in phone calls and not being afraid. And I always had that fear just to pick up the phone, no matter if it was a customer, prospect. The coaching calls that we did were easy because I just muted myself. I didn't have to talk. So one of the biggest things that I took away with that is to get over my fear and to pick up that phone and start calling people and stuff. And that's what I've been doing. And I have one girl, and that's all it took was a doctor on the phone. She's got someone interested, and then as soon as they ordered that she wants to make the money, she was going to sign up as a distributor, and all it did was me picking up that phone, and I got over that fear over the weekend because that's what they talked about. And if you don't, and like they always say, someone else is going to get them. And that's what I've taken away, is getting over my fear and doing those phone calls and getting back in the game. And because I'm going to there and and that's took away a lot of things from, but that's the biggest thing that I have taken away from the weekend is getting over my fear of calling people and getting on that phone. I mean, I started calling people before we got on Zoom, but I forget I'm 2 hours ahead from Oregon, so they're still all at work.
Oh, anyway, well, it sounds like you're getting your assignments done for the Founders Club, right?
Yep, I got them all done, got them all posted, looking forward to the meeting. And, and I go in there and look, see if there's something else that I need to do and make sure. And I've never been more fired up coming from a leadership conference than right now. And I'm not going to stop. And I've talked to a couple people at work last night, got friends with them on Facebook, so I can start giving them information, and it's amazing. My whole thing has changed, and I have, after coming home from this weekend, I have no more fear of making phone calls, talking to new people. What are they going to do? Hang up on me or say no? And I just go on to the next one, and just pray that, like my 5 phone calls that I had to do, I had one out of that wants to upgrade to distributor and start doing the business. So that was amazing to me. So awesome. That's about it.
I love it. Because I remember going into Xyngfest, you talked about XLC because you had gotten to go to XLC, and you were like, I'm so fired up. And then coming off of that one, it was like, that wasn't even fired up. This is fired up. This is so fired up. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Marty, because Marty, this was your first event, and I want you to share your takeaways kind of too, and like how you felt. I mean, how did you feel like this is part of your family? just kind of share those takeaways as well.
So at first I was really nervous. I wasn't sure really what to expect. And then I think after just getting there and then just seeing everybody and meeting everybody, it felt like this is exactly what I wanted it to feel like. So, and it was, to me, it was an experience. It made me get my vision back of when I first started a year ago, because I kind of slacked off, after, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, and things started happening with my family. And, I started kind of slacking and just kind of letting things go. And after listening to some of those stories, and it's those voices in your head that they were talking about that I had to overcome. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what I need to overcome. And telling myself, I can do it. That's why I posted, when I found that post this morning and I posted on Power to Change, it was like looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I can do this. I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm amazing. And just, I think I took away a lot of things, just the fear too. It's like being able to overcome those fears of, like Colette said, picking up the phone. And my thing with that though is, it's like, how do you reconnect yourself with customers that you've kind of let go? Do you just pick up that phone and like just check on them, see how they're doing? Is that like what you would end up doing?
Yes, absolutely. I think that sometimes it's like, and being raw and being real, it's like, you know what? It has been a while since I have connected with you. I would look in your office. Maybe they're still
Oh, I got
ordering,
all my back
right?
offices listed. I already have it all written down.
Good
So
girl.
I went
Good girl.
last night, I wrote everybody down on my notebook, the dates that they started, and yeah, so
Good
now I
girl.
just got to go. Yep.
Yep. And so, so that's it. I mean, they want to hear, it's like, oh my gosh, life has happened and I just feel so bad that I didn't I didn't stay connected. But you know what? I want to be there for you because you know what? There are so many awesome opportunities here with our company. And, I mean, you can kind of go into the tummy tamer, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what, these are the products that you did that you loved, but guess what? We have a game changer, right? And you don't even have to do that. I mean, even if you're just connecting with them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because I think that's our deal, is that we connect a lot of times on Messenger, but we don't like call them. They don't hear our voice. Maybe they didn't even do a
Right.
day 3 check-in call or day 9 or whatever. Sometimes they just need to hear our voice and know that we care, right?
Yeah. And I'd probably feel more comfortable actually talking to people, because sometimes texting just kind of it's like, I really just want to pick up the phone and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
hi, how are you? This is Marty. Some of those people I barely know.
Yeah. And that's perfect because, that's a great way to go. It's like, hey, I started to text you, but you know what? I just wanted you to hear my voice. I wanted you to know that
I'm a real
I
person.
just wanted to connect. What?
That I'm a real person.
Yeah, I am. I'm not a robot.
No, I really loved it. I'm really glad I went. I was, like I said, I really didn't have the money to go, but I did it. I went, and I was just really amazed at everybody, like just some of the different ranks there, and talking to uh, our what is it? Our executive teams, the people, I loved it.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that cool that they came to Tammy's party on Friday
Yeah,
night,
that
right?
just
I
blew
mean,
me away. I just sat there the whole time just thinking to myself, wow, these people are here with us and just talking to us like friends, like family, just hanging out.
mhm.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Completely amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, that's exciting. So thank you so much for sharing. I am going to move on to let's go with, who else was there? Diane, this is not your first rodeo. So let's have your takeaways and, how you felt that this was different than the last one that you went to?
Not first rodeo, but first Xyngfest, and they are different just in the format. I felt my takeaway was, again, the fear. I got right on the phone today, and I was never much of a text queen anyway, not one to really use the phone that much. Texting back and forth, and it's just not my mode of conversation. So starting with singular, and just following the norm of following the boards and all that, kind of eventually got me into the thinking way of texting. So knowing that we can personalize it more and do those phone calls and unscripted, unrehearsed, and just have the conversation, that's what I'm more comfortable with. So yeah, it was just really nice to get the go ahead on that, or to know that it was okay, instead of following something that is so patterned and written. And even though you could write a few notes down and follow the guidelines on that, but to just make it more personable. And again, it was just the unity of everybody there. I mean, just the sisterhood, the brotherhood, the corporate team being so personable. I mean, like I was telling Randy, my husband, I said, when would Joe Albertson's, make it to a company get together for the holidays or whatever, these big corporations with their owners and CEOs and this and that, to really make you feel like they're interested in you. And to get that personalization for Tammy's birthday was pretty awesome. So but yeah, I mean, I am very, very motivated. I couldn't wait to get home and get started. I did as much as I could on Sunday, when I could in the pockets of flights, but I was supposed to start. I ended up sleeping yesterday because I was just getting over being sick, and I went to bed yesterday at 2:00. Was it yesterday? I don't know. Days are kind of messed up for me. I think it was Sunday. Went to bed at 2:00. I did not get up until yesterday morning at 9:30. I slept like 19 and a half hours, but I'm all on the go now. And yeah, I'm just very, very motivated, and I am all in. I want to make it to that Jamaica trip along with my husband. And yeah, I mean, I took away a lot of just go get them, attitude. And you're not going to know unless you ask. I mean, my phone calls primarily were getting on there and asking them to join the business. And, I'm going to be trying to set up 3-way chats and, get them to understand what's in it for them, beyond just product, but what's in it for them as far as the business goes. So yeah, it was great.
I love it. I know, because there's a group of us that are going to Jamaica, right? So exciting. All right. So the next newbie I want to use is Brandy. If you can jump in, that would be great. We'd love to hear from you, girl.
She is at the hospital with her
Oh,
aunt, so she's listening, but they're not talking right now.
okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're listening in, Brandy. I just have to say it was so fun meeting Brandy and seeing her there and seeing how motivated it made her as well. You are very fun, and we had a blast together. So I'm just going to go ahead and move to you, Dawn, since you're already lit up. Let's go ahead and give me your takeaways.
Well, I think, and she motivated me during XLC too, but Ursula got up and spoke again at Fest and shared a very, very vulnerable part of her life. And it just kind of really hit home. Here you you're not comparing, but you look at these executives or these silver executives or ambassadors or, whatever rank they are, and you think that their lives are perfect. And then you start comparing to the way your life is, and there's no way that you can get to that rank that they're at because of, there's something special. Well, just listening to Ursula, she came out with Miranda Lambert's song, The House That Built Me, which is a song that hits home to me too. So it grabbed my attention. And then Ursula talked about how she grew up and how she grew up in an adobe home, just a couple of bedrooms, and her and her siblings, like 5 siblings, had to sleep in one room, and they didn't even have a bathroom. They had an outhouse. They back to like the Little House. This is what's going through my head. Little House on the Prairie days, where you had to pour the hot water into a bathtub to make, to have a bath. They didn't have any running water. Her parents slept on a sleeper sofa and pulled it out every night and made it up every night, and then put it back every morning so they would have normalcy in the den and the dining area. So just listening to Ursula talk about that, and she's one of our top, leaders in the company, just goes to show us that anybody with any background, we've got people that have got degrees and bachelors and all of that stuff, like Robin Packard's got a bunch of degrees behind her. And then you've got Ursula that had come from nothing. She came from nothing. And now she's building an amazing house, taking care of her parents who are both ailing. So I think Ursula just really, really hit home. She also made a quote that really hit home with everybody through the whole weekend, and it was called micro quitting. And think about it. I mean, you all know what micro is. It's just something small, and we all know what quitting is. And she made the comment that micro quitting is worse than actually just walking away from it. And that resonated with me too, because the first year I got started here, I went like 2 months without doing anything. And it was kind of goes back to what we were talking about. How do you go back to your customers, and how do you reach back out to them when you haven't talked to them in several months? And I micro quit. I quit for those couple of months, and it took me so long to get my momentum back and my rhythm down, that I told myself that I would never go another day without touching my business every day. It may not be the same amount each day. Like Ursula says, when she had her mom that was really, really sick, and her dad, and she said, there were days that I couldn't work it every minute that I wanted to, but I did not go a day without touching it somehow, some way, to keep a little bit of that momentum going. So that was huge. That really resonated with me again. But I think the pivotal moment in mine over the weekend was not a session. It was in Tammy Castronovo's room when Mark Walker came in to talk to us. I have heard this over and over and over and over again, and we all have. But to hear our co-founder of our company say this, it clicked. And he made the comment, you cannot drag people. You cannot want this for somebody that doesn't want it bad enough for themselves. He said, get them on the products, get them on subscription. And if you can't move them any further than that, then leave them there and move on. And that was our co-founder of the company that said that. So he was talking about members, that we couldn't get them to commit to being a distributor, or even commit to taking the products and completing a complete 8-day and wasting your time on trying to get these friggin' people to continue with an 8-day, and they're eating junk on their 8-day. If they can't complete an 8-day, there's no sense in to keep babysitting these people. We're not here to babysit them. And he said, get them on subscription on their favorite product, whether it's the probiotics or collagen or zinc or whatever, and get them on subscription and move on to somebody else. And he said the same way with your distributors. If you can't get your distributors to engage with you and get them doing the simple steps that are very, very easy to do, then love them where they're at, and then move on and find somebody else that wants this as badly as you do. and quit trying to breathe life into somebody that doesn't want it, that is not motivated enough to continue on. But to hear our co-founder say that, it was like, hello, you know, I've heard so many distributors say it and so many distributors say it, but when I heard Mark say it in that room that night, it was like, okay, he's right. It is now time to go out and find the people that want this as badly as you do, and not screw around with the people that are going to waste your time and waste your energy. We're not here to babysit. So that was the click for me. I want Jamaica. I want to go to Founders Club. I am going to work on Founders Club more than I ever have this year, and really motivate that way. And then there was something else I was going to say. I don't remember what it was. If I think about it, I'll interrupt you.
Awesome. Awesome. I know, micro quitting. How many of us have micro quit? I mean, I can't tell you, with, you know, 2020 being such a boom, and then 2021 slowly, like, you know, spiral down. It's like sometimes you just get comfortable where you're at, and then you keep spiraling, and you've micro quit. So now it's like a total rebuild, right? So I love that, Dawn. And I think everyone there talked about micro quitting after that. So Tammy Glowacki, I'm glad you found your car at Target. I'm so glad that you had that little panic button and that you could find it, girl, because you know, I think several of us have probably been in your same shoes. So I've gone along and I've like pressed my button before, honking it to make it like tell me where it's at. So anyway, do you have some takeaways? If you need a few minutes, I can go ahead and you know, I'll go ahead and share mine. Oh, you're muted.
Unmute. Okay, I was at puppy training, but now I'm home and Hartley's outside. So you share yours, and then I'm just going to sift through my many pages of notes, but I'll pick something that just, you know, jumps out at me. So go ahead.
All right. I think my biggest takeaway is that people did it anyway, that things suck. Things happen that suck. Whether it's the fact that, you know, people had teams leave, people had, like Robin talked about the death of her father, the death of their brother. You know, Ursula talked about, you know, the things that she's lost, the things that I think she lost a brother. But they did it anyway. And I love the fact that she showed a picture of her hitting Founders Club. She hit Founders Club on the 28th of September. And she said, that was embarrassing to me. She says, but you know what? It sucked, but I posted it anyway, because you know what? She ended up with 2 team members, her daughter, Jessie Jo, and her daughter-in-law, Ashley Lewis. Guess what? They didn't want Ursula to go to Cabo by herself. So you know what? They worked too. So that was a huge takeaway, because if you're not doing it, do you think your team's going to do it? No, they're not. But I love the fact that so many of them talked about the things that sucked in their life. We had a leadership training, directors and above were able to go to a 2-hour leadership. And it was really cool because at the end, they gave us a book. Here's another book to read. Well, I'm not a big reader, but the book was The Iron Cowboy. And I thought, oh my gosh, Iron Cowboy, you know, big deal, whatever. So anyway, but he spoke to us. And he got up there on stage and he shared his journey of things that were hard, and he did it anyway. So after he spoke, and you watch him go 50 Ironman triathlons in 50 states and in 50 days. He did it even when he didn't think he could. And he got up every day, and every day was harder and harder. I mean, he showed pictures of, I mean, he got hit by a freaking car and still got up and finished his race. He lost his toenails, for crying out loud, like early in the journey, and he kept going. In fact, he ended up by helping a young man who had multiple sclerosis, I think it was, or one. I don't know if it was MS, but he couldn't do a triathlon. He was in a wheelchair. He was in one of those bicycles, and you know what? He made it happen for him. Was it hard? Yeah, it was hard. So go in, and if you haven't watched that, if you guys joined the virtual, go listen to him. Go listen to the Iron Cowboy, because I can tell you that when you see that and you see the hard that so many of these leaders talked about, the suck, my life looks pretty easy compared to what they went through, because their hard was way harder than my hard. So I can tell you, it lit my fire. It lit my fire. So the thing is too, is we talk about personal development, things that we need to do, because we've got to fill our heart and mind. We've got to listen to things that are going to make us stronger. And so I'm going to go back, actually. I'm going to go in, because we, as Fest members, we get to go back and listen. And there's some of those leaders I'm going to go back and listen to, because I'm telling you, when it's hard and they do it anyway, I'm doing it too. All right. That was my takeaway. Tammy, whenever you're ready, babe.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks for everyone that shared on this. Okay. You guys, I took pages of notes. I'm going to say I've been to so many of these. I've been to Xyngfest, Xyngfling, and XLC, and they're always good. They're always incredible. But this one was super special. And I don't truly honestly know why it was so special, but it was. And like I had a lot of aha moments. And, it's about making a decision. It really, really is about making a decision. And then doing the simple steps that people always suggest, so that in fact, you can visualize yourself there. Because the level of water that it takes, let's just say for Founders Club, I've never made that trip. I will make that trip. I will make that trip. I'm going to do everything that is suggested, and all the tools that we have to make that trip. And so it's a belief system, and I remember Troy Alexander. Troy would say, feel your feet in the sand. What does it smell like? What does the ocean breeze smell like? What does the food taste like? And I kind of thought to myself, it's a little bit dorky, but I can see the value. And so I was listening. Okay. Some of the notes I took this is from Heather Medina, where she says, what you think is what you do. What you think is what you will create. Freddie gave me something to listen to the other day, and it was about like 91% of our thought process dictates how our day is going to go. And it's usually what we thought about the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. Whatever those tapes are, those negative or positive tapes, they repeat themselves unless you're cognizant enough to do some additional work to change the thought process. It can happen, but a lot of it is what we believe our level of deservedness is. So like Cynthia Evans she said, is your business on the last burner? Like, do you do everything else before Xyngular? Is Xyngular number one? And then you plan your life, or not number one, but you know what I mean. It can't be, for me, Team Z sometimes has been a 10 o'clock at night activity. Other things were before Team Z. And so what she basically says is, she goes, if you don't prioritize your business, it will not pay. It will not. It's an illusion. Like, it's going to pay big. I'm going to hit it big. And another thing Calla said is, you're never going to outgrow, your paycheck will never outgrow your own level of development. It will not. And that's why Freddie always says, work harder on yourself than you do your business. It's what is going on in between our ears. And it does take work. I think that's another thing that really resonated with me, is that it takes intentional work. Intentional work. Yes, there are times that we stumble on someone, but we need to be able to teach them. We need to be able to plug them in. We need to be able to be the example so they can sustain their business. And if we haven't done it, it's not to say that we couldn't learn if we got someone that really is going to run. But the truth is that most of the time we're not going to get paid, however Calla worded that, so the importance of that, and you will attract it once you believe it. So I would just say, do you really believe that whatever you want to be, let's just say you want to be a gold manager, do you believe in your heart that you're a gold manager? Do you believe you have the skill set? Do you believe in yourself? I love that the Calla was up there with, who was she with? Was she with Jana Dyer? Jana Dyer had a stack of cards. Oh, okay, there we go. She had a stack of cards. So there's 52 cards in the deck. And then there's 4 jokers. And she goes, how many aces are in the deck? 4 aces. So then she did this analogy where you picked up the cards and you got a 2, and then you got a 4, and then you got a queen, and then you got a 10. And people are like, you didn't get your ace. And they're like, you know what? I'm not good at this. I've been talking to people. I'm not good at this. And then, so then you're like, okay, no, but then your sponsor says, you got to talk to more people. You got to talk to more people. And the more uplifted you are within yourself, the more energized you're going to be. So anyway, then she, next thing you know, she starts talking to more people, and she gets a joker. And she's like, you see, this is not for me. I'm not to this level. I freaking have a joker now. But the truth is, that's where most people will quit. They will quit. And then the next card she picked up was an ace. And so what that analogy was is, don't quit, but you got to do the work. You cannot not do the work. And another thing that really kind of resonated with me is the importance of going to events. We have events 2 times a year. If you're a director and above, we have them 3 times a year. They're about every 4 months, give or take. And the truth is that we alone cannot fuel our own fire. And that's why so many people do quit, because they can't. You have to plug in. You have to plug into your coach. You have to plug into calls. You have to plug into Room at the Top. You have to plug in tonight. I commend you all for being on tonight. You have to plug into going to Zing Fling and Xyngfest. You have to go get and be hungry what you want. And so Zing Fling is going to be in Nevada. So it's going to be West Coast for the West Coast people. So my question is, are you willing to go to any lengths to get there? Because you can, if you don't hold yourself back, and you got to do the work. So that's kind of what I took away, my friend.
I love it. I know there were so many, and it's so true. I mean, that card, draw that they did, it's so true. So, that's one thing with our Founders Club, I'm all in, is that, making those phone calls, because it's like a deck of cards. Somewhere in there, somewhere in that call is your ace. Right? All right. So anybody else have anything that they would like to add, or anything that someone would like to ask? I know that some of you also watched it through, I wanted to say viral, but what's the word?
On demand.
Demand, yes, whatever. Anyway, anybody else have anything that they want to add to it?
You know what? I wanted to add one little thing, if you don't mind. It goes back to how dedicated are you to your business, being crystal clear what you want out of your business. And then also find the internal motivation. One of the things Rush Fletcher talked about, or Ursula did, is quit looking for someone to motivate you to work. Quit looking for that magical person. If I do this magical training, which I'm not talking about the fests, those are events, but if I do this, or if I do that, or because I've done it myself, I'm preaching to the choir. If I do this, if I do that, that's the lucky key. That's the lucky key. And it is a lucky key in that it gave me more information. But if in fact I don't apply it, if I don't do anything with it, or if I look for somebody else to implement it, it's going to go nowhere. So, quit looking for someone to motivate you to go to work. Motivation comes and goes. So don't be alarmed by that. Numbers go up and down. Motivation comes and goes. So don't think just because you're down in the dumps, you don't belong. Find your internal motivation. What do you want? And go to work. So that's it.
Awesome. Anybody else? Oh, Cecilia, go ahead.
Yeah. So I registered for On Demand and I just got my link yesterday. And so I haven't had a chance to watch all of the recordings, but I watched one that they talked about social media and the 14-day challenge. So maybe somebody that was in person, if you could enlighten me a little bit on the details of all of that.
Oh my gosh, girl. So, oh gosh, what was her name? She goes by
Sam.
Sam. Fine.
Sam and her husband. So what they do is they do training. She has been in network marketing for a very long time, got into social media. And, we hear about the algorithms, right? We see that, people aren't commenting on our posts, or, we're not getting a lot of hits in our Power to Change group, those kind of things. Well, it's all about how we're posting, how and why, and the connections that we're making on social media. So what they're going to do is they're going to teach us how we should be posting in order to build our network marketing. So it's a free class. It's 14 days, starts on October 25th. I definitely recommend, and I think everybody that was there registered for it because they're pretty cool. I mean, they came up with some things on, how Facebook, it doesn't like us selling things. And if we post something, it's going to be like, oh, that's a sales post. Oh, that's a sales post. And so people aren't seeing those, because I can tell you that I can post about my mini donkey and I get hundreds of people that will comment, but I can post something about a free $99 jumpstart with our new tummy tamer and I get nothing. So they're going to teach us. It's a great way to learn more about the posting and stuff on Facebook. So I definitely recommend it. If you need the link, we'll definitely share that with you guys again, but register. It's free.
I look forward to that one, Leslie, so I could stay out of jail.
Do what?
I look forward to that so I can stay out of jail.
Yeah, that too. And and they talked about, no negativity. I mean, it's just like, if you want people to follow you, you've got to stay out of any of the negativity. You've got to be positive, all of that. Lives count. So I know that there's a lot of different things, but anyway, so go back and you'll watch that as well. They talked both days, and definitely register for that. So if you guys don't have anything else, I am going to do a drawing for a $20 gift card. So I'm going to share my screen. You guys let me know if you can see my wheel of names. Can you guys see that? Yay! All right, I'm going to do two $20 gift cards. So here's the first one. I've got, wow, look at all the names in here. You guys rocked. I am so stoked that you guys are posting and inviting, and you're getting shout outs in our Team Blessed group. So continue to do that, because that's going to build your business as well. That's part of your IPAs, that's consistency. So let's see who is going. And you remember, you have to be on tonight in order to receive the gift card. Boy, that makes you dizzy. All right. All right, Colette, you'll be getting a $20 gift card.
Oh my God, Colette is the luckiest person, I swear.
You should go buy a lottery ticket. All right.
I'm gonna buy, she needs to buy me one.
All right, here we go. Here's the next one. All right, Diane, Robinette. All right, so in order for me to send the gift cards, I will need to get your email addresses. So if you guys would message me in Messenger, send me your email address, because I'm going to send it through the internet. So it'll be a Visa card. So thank you guys very much. Oh, let me take the share off. Wait a minute, wait. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Goodness gracious. All right, you guys, that is all we have for tonight. Oh gosh. Did it not record? Oh, there it is.